Have you ever had a Cricut lost in your house? You know the struggle. Hey guys, it's Maymay. Recently, I did a video on my reasons to not buy a Cricut or cutting machine, and there was some great discussion in the comments. Some of the things I wanted to talk about today maybe answer some questions and clear up some confusion. So that's what this video is. And as a bonus at the very end, I have a great tip for you that you're going to want to know about. So stick around for that. So there were lots of things that came in. Some of the comments leaned negative and some of them were just questions. So I'm going to address both of those things today. And hopefully, if you've already decided, I do want to get a machine, maybe this will help you move forward in that process. Okay. So the first thing I saw mentioned that I wanted to address was I can never find any classes or I can never find anywhere to learn about my machine. And I can understand the frustration with this. So I want to clear that up a little bit. Number one, I understand if you purchase this machine from like a big box store, you're probably not going to get a lot of information there unless they offer classes. It's really hard because the employees at big box stores typically aren't hired as Cricut experts or even crafting experts. They're hired kind of to run the store, right? So it's a little hard if you purchase from one of those stores to get more information. Now, it's not hard to find information on YouTube, and there's all kinds of information out there for every machine. Every machine has information for you. So learning about your machine, as long as you want to take the time to do it, you can learn about this machine. And even then, once you've learned from a class, the more you play with it, you learn more information that's even taught in the class. Now, to help you guys out, I did something. I've always offered a Cricut class. I have online Cricut classes available to you guys that you can purchase, and those are always available. We'll link that in the description below. But I also decided I wanted to do a more affordable option. So I've created a new the basic functions of Design Space for you guys. So this is like an hour-long video that I go through and just hit on the basic functions. So this is a great video to start with when you're taking your machine out of the box. Perfect place to start. So I'll leave that information below. That is listed in the description. And again, that class is called Basic Functions of Design Space. And then we also offer Design Space 101 there as well. It's a little more expensive, but it's a 2-hour class that we do live. So you can attend that class and ask questions live. So maybe that'll help you if you can't find classes. But don't forget, there's a lot of information out there for free, including on my channel. You can watch a lot of videos I've done and shown you how the Cricut works for free. So the second comment that I want to address was this one. Someone said that they didn't think I was being fair to crafters who might need these machines to change their crafting or to make things better for them in their crafting. And I really hope that comment came before they watched the video, because I know a lot of times people will comment like as soon as they click on the video or something without actually watching the whole video. Because I hope if you watch the video, you really got the feel for, I was really trying to help people and not be frustrated when they get their machines home. Kind of give them lay the groundwork they need for purchasing the machine to make it easier when they get it. So it does enhance their experience and it doesn't cause frustration. So I hope that was what that was. And if you didn't watch the video because you thought maybe I was doing that, go back and watch it because I really did give you advice on what to do to avoid the frustration. Okay. So the number 3 comment I wanted to address was someone said, basically, this is not quoted, but basically that I was wrong comparing computers to apps and that nowadays technology is so good, even in our apps, that it should be able to do everything that computers do. And they actually referenced the M1 processor. So I want to talk about that for a second. So I don't know if you know this or not, but technology gets better and better and better, right? And the M1 processor they were referring to is a new processor that Apple has in their, right now it's in Macs and now in their iPad. But in my research, what I found was that M1 processor wasn't added to Mac desktops until 2020, and it wasn't added to iPads until 2021. So that kind of validates what I was saying in that as technology gets better, we get better functionality. I think that maybe they didn't understand what I was saying because what I was trying to explain is your computer can just innately do more things than your tablets or your apps or things like that can do. Does that change over time? Yes, with things like the M1 processor, for example, or technology just getting better. Here's a great example. I remember when I got my first iPhone that would record in 4K. I was so excited I could record in 4K, only to find out that at the time, YouTube couldn't even play 4K videos. And worse than that, viewers couldn't watch in 4K because most of our technology wouldn't play 4K. Now, most everything does, especially if you purchased it really new, and YouTube now can share 4K videos as well. So sometimes technology is smarter than what you have. And so that's what I meant by that. A good example is just like 2 days ago, we got the offset feature in our app. And that's just because the more functionality these apps get and these like tablets and things like that get, the more functions we can get. So I hope I cleared that one up for you too. Now to a biggie, number 4.
Breaking in here to ask you to hit that red subscribe button. It's free. Also hit the bell button beside it. You can help me reach my big goal this year of 400,000 subscribers. Okay, back to crafting.
How do I decide on which machine? It seems as though no matter what video I put out or how I explain it, people really struggle with this. So I want to break it down kind of step by step. If I were looking for a new machine, the first thing I would do is decide, what do I want to do with that machine? Okay, so step 1, what do you want to do with that machine? Step 2 is, what machine does that process the best? Now, where do you find out? Go to YouTube. Look for people who are making the craft you want to make, and they're sharing videos on YouTube. See what they're using, see what machines they're using. I caution you of this. A lot of times when you search on YouTube, if you just search what you're looking for and don't put in like 2022, a lot of times you get videos that are outdated. So if you searched on my channel for Cricut videos, you'll see me using machines from the past that I don't use anymore because now I have the newest version, right? So be sure in your search you ask for 2022, okay? So look, what craft do you want to do? What do you want your machine to do? What machine does that the best? Okay. And do I want to grow? Here's why I want to say this. Let's say you go, oh, I just want to make cards. That's all I want to do. I just want to make cards. I don't need anything more than that. I would tell a person that only wants to make cards that the Cricut Joy is the perfect machine for them. Okay. Now it will do other things, but if your craft is only cards, that's the perfect machine for you. However, if you think, you know what, when I get this machine and I learn it, and I like it, I might want to make bigger projects, wider projects, or maybe print than cut projects. I think I will go ahead and get the bigger machine that does everything the Joy does, plus more, and then you're ready as you grow. Now, this is important because some people really don't want to ever do anything more than cards, so they don't need anything more than that Joy, right? So, I want you to think about that. Number 1, what craft do I want to do? Number 2 is, what machine does that craft the best? And number 3, how do I want this machine to grow in my crafting? Okay. Number 4 is, does my current technology work with the machine I have chosen to purchase? Make sure. If it doesn't work, you need to upgrade your technology as well. Now, number 5 is, how do I know? That actually leads into our number 5 question that was asked, which is, how do I know if my tech works with the machine? I did a little research, and every machine platform website, so Brother, Cricut, Silhouette, every website has all that information listed for you with their machine information. So if you have narrowed it down to what machine you want, then say you want the Maker 3, go to the Maker 3 spec page or the specifications page, and you'll be able to find what it does and what it requires to run. And I would also caution you this, if you're not sure, contact the help desk of these companies. They know inside and out. They are trained professionals who know what your machine needs from start to finish. And they would so love it if you would ask the question before you make the purchase, because they'd rather you make a good purchase than one that will make you sad. So contact them and ask them. There's chat features, there's 800 numbers, there's email features where you can talk to a professional at the company and find out what you need to run your machine. Number 6 was probably the biggest, and I actually did some research. Let me get my notes because I did some research on this one. I wanted to tell you for sure. So number 6 is, I refuse to pay for images, or I refuse to pay for a subscription to run a machine. So I want to tell you a story, just a quick one. I tried to do the years, and I hope I'm right, but like in 2009, 2010, I had a Cricut Expression. And if you're not familiar with Cricut Expression, they are machines that use cartridges, and cartridges are now called image sets. That's what we call them in Design Space now. But cartridges were just that. They were a little cartridge that you inserted into the machine, and it only cut what was on that little cartridge. That's all it could read. That's all you would get out of it. And I remember one time purchasing a cartridge that cost me $79.99. And this was a big deal because cartridges back in the day were anywhere from $19 to like $45 or $50. But when they got up in the $79 range and up, that was a lot of money to spend on a cartridge. Well, my library had about 12 cartridges because I didn't buy a lot because I was very, very cheap. So I had about 12 cartridges, but this one cartridge for $79.99 had 700 images on it. And I thought I was in the works. I thought there's nothing I can't make with this cartridge. Well, that's not true. I was limited to 700 images. But in 2009, 2010, it cost me $80. So I did a little research. How does that compare to today? Now, I am a Cricut user. I only have Design Space subscription. I do not use the canvas for the brother, and I don't have a silhouette. So I don't mess with those programs, but I am going to talk about this one a little bit. Let's talk Design Space. So for $9.99 a month, that is a subscription, or it's a subscription to Access, okay? For $9.99 a month, which you can cancel anytime, by the way, you get 250,000 plus, because it's more than 250,000 images. You get 700 fonts and discounts off future purchases depending on which subscription you purchase. Okay, now that one I'm talking about right now is the standard program, and it is as of filming this video today. Okay, $9.99 a month. Now, if you pay by the year, you pay $95.88 for the year and get that 250,000 plus images, 700 fonts, and the discount, right? That equals out to $7.99 a month if you pay that way. Now, I want you to hear that number, $95.88. Compare that to $79.99. So $80 versus $95. And the difference is for $80, I got 700 images, and it was a cartridge, and I had to store it, and I had to hold on to it, and I had no problem doing it because I love my machine, right? So for almost that same investment, I can have 250 plus images, and every time Cricut adds images, I get those too. Unless they're licensed images, there's always going to be that conversation that can extend what I'm telling you. But there are some images that are still paid for, even with your subscription. But here's what I tell you. When I first got my subscription with Cricut years ago, there were 100,000 images. So it's already at 250,000 images. And I don't think there were but 400 fonts, maybe even less. And now there's 700. So that library continues to grow. So I just want you to see that, okay? I want you to put that in perspective. We used to have to buy cartridges, right? And we used to have to store them on a shelf. And we used to have to spend all that money on these cartridges that only did that we couldn't even manipulate the images. And now look what we can do for such a small investment. Now, I also want to mention that for $119.88, as of today, filming this video, you can get the premium access, and that includes 2 discounts. So check that out. Can you see this on the website? You can go to Cricut.com, and I want to say it's under Design Space and then Cricut Access, but theirs is called Access. Now, a lot of people believe, and I did too, a lot of people believe that there's some machines that have free images with them. This machine, the Scan and Cut, has some free images built in, but I'm going to tell you it is limited, okay? I did not do the math. I should have done the math, but it's in the hundreds, not 100,000s, okay? So you don't have unlimited built-in images in this plug-and-play style machine. Do you have some great ones? Sure, you got basic shapes, you've got some things that work for holidays built in. In order to add any other images or use any other images, you got to purchase them, okay? Or create them yourself, which is a pretty big deal. That's a graphic design situation, okay? So I have a friend who has a silhouette, and I wanted to know how it works. So I asked her, I said, do you get these images for free, like with Design Space? And she said, no. You can purchase images through their shop. You can join something they have called a club, or you can make your own. So the software that works with the silhouette is a more graphic design friendly software. It's way above my head. That's why I don't use it. That's why I like this one. I like point and click. But if you want to be able to create your own SVGs basically from scratch and stuff like that, you can do it through their program from what I've seen. Take classes, watch videos on it, okay? On this guy, I like that I could just search an image I'm looking for, and more than likely it's going to pop up in my subscription. Now, as an extra, and this is great, there are sites out there like Dreaming Tree, like svg.com, like Miss Kate Cuttables, where you can purchase images individually. But I want to caution you, you're probably going to be buying images, okay? It is also important that I point this out because a lot of people do this and it's not okay. A lot of people basically, oh, I hate to say this word, but a lot of people basically steal images from online. If you don't purchase that image or you don't create that image, it's not your image. And you can't just go out there and take things off the internet, especially to use for a business. You can't take something somebody else has done and then go sell it. I think we're learning more and more about that nowadays because it is so prevalent, and it's really kind of sad because if you're a graphic designer and you're spending hours making these images, which trust me, it's hours, okay? Because it's design, cut, test, design, cut, test, right? It's really sad when you see somebody take your images and not give you any credit or pay for them because you deserve that, right? If you're a graphic designer watching today, you can comment about that. You can say, this is right, stop stealing my images. And again, I hate to say the word stealing, but it is what it is, right? So don't think you're going to get this machine and then every image you see out there is open to you. It's not. There are some images that are free for personal use. There are some fonts that are free for personal use, but everything is not free. So let's say you still don't see the value in a subscription. That's fine. It may not be for you. A subscription is not for everyone. You may not use enough images to justify the monthly payment. But here's the beauty of the way images are done nowadays versus back in the day. Before, if I needed one image, I still had to buy a whole cartridge to get that image. Nowadays, I can buy images one at a time, two at a time, as I need them. And I think that's a great way to save money because if you don't need cartridges, you literally could spend $45 on one cartridge or spend $45 in a year on images, depending on how much you craft. So there's still a good way to save money, but you will at some point have to purchase an image somewhere, sometime. You might not have to fonts because like I said, there's a lot of fonts out there until you start selling your work, but at some point you'll probably have to purchase an image. Now I'm going to ask a favor. I know you're going to want to discuss this in the comments and I encourage that, but do it kindly, please. You can make your point without being disrespectful or make someone else feel less because of their opinion. I don't want anybody to do that, okay? And remember, this is my opinion, but I want you to be educated on at least what I know about these machines, right? Okay, the tip, I promised you a tip, and I think it's a really good one. Ready for this? If you're gonna make a purchase of a machine, before you purchase it, go out and join some Facebook groups about that machine. Now I'm gonna caution you a little bit about this, but I want to tell you a little thing. I wanted a new machine. There's a new machine out that I really wanted. It's very expensive. It's like $4.99. And I was like, I'm going to get this machine. And then I thought, you know what? Before I do, well, here's what happened. I got an ad in my Facebook and I was reading the comments and it was just like, I love this machine. This machine is so great. It does everything. I can't believe how easy it is. And it was just all positive comments. And I thought, this seems weird to me because somebody doesn't love this machine. Like every single person doesn't. And I thought, if they do, I want this machine. So I went, I'm going to go join a Facebook group about this machine. And I did just that. Actually, I think I joined two where people talk about the machine that I was looking at. And then I realized, yes, people struggle. There are issues with it. Now, I will tell you this, more times than not on Facebook groups and things like that, people will be in their craft room, get frustrated with their machine and go straight to Facebook and kind of unload. When what I would say instead is contact customer service. They can help you. When you're just going to a group and kind of ranting, you're only going to hear from the people that are going to take the time to help you in the comments, which a lot of times is a lot of people, but it really kind of deters people from real factual information. So make sure if you're upset with your machine, go to the source, figure it out, go to someone who can help you with the situation. So I do want to caution you that because I noticed whenever somebody would make a complaint about the machine and then I looked in the comments, many times it was just they didn't know how to do the function they were trying to do and people were telling them how to do it and it cleared it up. But I did learn a lot about that machine and I basically learned, no, I think I can use my Cricut for all that does. I don't think it's any better than the Cricut and I'm just going to keep it. So I made that decision based on my research. So join those Facebook groups. The beauty of it is you can always leave those groups. Just like me, I was like, no, I'm not going to purchase that machine. I left those groups and now I don't have to think about it anymore. I've made my decision. One other thing I want to tell you, when you join the groups, try to join the official group and also other people's groups. Here's a good example. Cricut has an official group, but also Melody Lane Inspired, which is my friend Melody. You guys remember her. She has a group where people, the difference is on the official site, a lot of times people go there to kind of complain to Cricut and kind of be upset with them because I guess they feel like that's a place Cricut's going to respond, but really they're not going to respond there. They're going to respond through you contacting them. But like on Melody Lane Inspired, that's a lot of people just like you and me that are crafting with our machines, and we're showing you some projects that we're making and things like that. And that's a really cool thing to see when people are enjoying their machines and what they're creating. Okay, you got through this far. This is the second one you watched. I feel like I don't know. I always feel like I've answered every question I can answer. And then somebody will make a comment and I'm like, that's a great thing I need to talk about or address or answer. So if you feel that way, you can leave those comments below as well. I hope these couple of videos have really helped you in making your machine purchasing decisions. And one last thing, if you don't mind, hit that subscribe button for me. I have a big goal this year of 400,000 subscribers, and you guys are being so kind and helping me reach that. So the red YouTube button is free. You don't pay for that subscription. So click that button. And if you'd like to know when I have a new video coming out, you can click the bell button and set your notifications. Until next time, guys, bye now.